Lynn, coming to you from Long Island. Beautiful day here today in New York. Hope you guys are doing well. Well, we're almost halfway through everything. Halfway through the year, halfway through the season in baseball. Yeah, I can't believe it's the July 4th break coming up soon. With that said, I also can't believe how bad the Mets have been playing, that they're practically out of it before the mid-year mark. It's very discouraging to us Met fans. The Mets lost again 10-8. And deja vu, 2 nights in a row, 10-8. So I had a switch. I said, I can't wear my Met hat again. I'll have to try my Jet hat. So the Jets are a long ways off from being eliminated, so there's hope. And hopefully they will have a better year than we expect. And as far as my New York Mets shirt, I switched that for a Jeremy Lin shirt. Well, poor Jeremy Lin, he's been plagued by injuries. He's got a lot of heart, that guy. I loved him on the Knicks when he took Anthony's role for about 4 or 5 games while Anthony sat. And he really spurred that team to a lot new excitement that I haven't seen in the Knicks in a long time. So I owe him that much. And the Linsanity thing was really cool, and having so many Chinese rooting for the Knicks. In New York City, we have a large Chinese and Asian population, so that was great. A lot of great things rooting for Jeremy. A Harvard grad, not a typical school that you expect to see a point guard in the NBA. So he had a lot of interest, and unfortunately, although he had the talent and still has the talent, he just can't go up against those big bodies that he has to drive to the hoop in order to get to the hoop. And he's fearless, he bounces off of them, and they swat him like a little fly. So I don't think we're going to see much more of a professional career for Jeremy Lin, but I will keep my Jeremy Lin shirt as a souvenir of when times were good for 4 or 5 games for the New York Knicks. Hopefully the Knicks can put it all together next year with Porzingis and some of the younger players, but I really don't think so. How could they possibly butt heads with Boston and Cleveland even if LeBron stays? and every team in the West seems to be better than the Knicks. So they just I don't see any real hope for the next couple of seasons. So anyway, that's diverting from our mid-year point synopsis. So in baseball is one thing, and then in the Dow Jones Industrial Average, it's interesting to take a look where we've come since January 1st, or for that matter, over the last 12 months. So let me start with a little overview of stocks. And let's go to finance.yahoo.com, one of my favorite sites, and we'll take a look at the New York Stock Exchange index. We'll take a look at the Dow. We'll take a look at the NASDAQ. We just see how they did. So I'm going to do share screen, guys. Well, that's nice. Share screen. And let's get us to Yahoo. Yahoo. So look, for some reason. There we go. Okay, so take a look at what the Dow is today. 20 back in 60 points of the Dow. All right. Okay, now over one day. I think we want to look at it from year to date. So let's look YTD, and let's blow it up to a full screen. And just to take a look and put it in perspective where the first is taking us. The Dow is the most popularly followed stock index. Well, but what is this showing us? This is showing us through 12/29/17. That's not what I want. I don't know how that happened. Let's try year to date again. Okay, that's better. Okay, so we see that the year's low was put in, looks like in April. Let's see where we were in April. The low of the day was 23,344. And that looks like the low point of since January, 23,334. Okay, remember that. And now let's go to this bar. The high was on, looks like 126, 2018. We made a high 26.6. Now, since that high, we've had one nice leg down, and that low it took us to 23,860, and then another attempt to bounce not only brought us back to 25.7, about halfway back to the high of the year. So this is like wave theory. This would be one wave down and another wave up, and then another wave down. So this would be Proctor makes a living with this Elliott wave analysis, and we are until after the fact when you're dealing with Elliott wave counts. Notice the typical down, retrace off that low, didn't go beyond it. Smaller retrace to this high. So we're making a series at this point of lower highs and at the same time higher lows, which is interesting. So we're forming more or less a triangle pattern at this point. And then the triangle pattern is broken right here on 322 with a big bar down, big move down. So that brings us down to that 323 low of 23,509, and an even little bounce back, and then a bigger low at 23,344 on 4/2. So since April, we've been again trying to rally, pulling back, trying to rally, pulling back. We did rally past the previous high back here in May, which is a little promising. Minor pullback, bounce to another high. Minor pullback, bounce to another high. So now we're in the process of making higher highs again, and hopefully lower lows. I mean higher lows. This low, 529.18 is 24,247, and so far that number stands. 24,458 is greater. So I think as long as we can stay above the low of May 29th, we've definitely turned the corner and to take out this high and also this high back on February 27th. So this February 27th high of 25,800 is significant in my mind. If we do that, I would think the Dow would make new highs, new all-time highs finally, over 26,460 616. So one that we don't give much more back, that we don't make a lower low, and we keep the trend, a new channel, a new trend that's in the upward direction. So basically, although it's a very sluggish, slow-moving Dow from all the way back from January, if you notice, a lot of ups and small ups and small. I still would have to be encouraged by the recent movement, again, provided we bottom here and start moving back up. If we go below this 24,247 mark, I suspect we're in for more selling still. So let's see what happens midway through the year. It's not exactly where we want to be because, let's see, what was it on January 1st? January 1st, 24,809. 24,809, and today it's at 24,520. So we're actually down 300 points from the beginning of the year. Insignificant, but it's essentially saying the Dow has gone nowhere. And that's a lot different than the previous few years where the Dow has had few interludes of where it's done next to nothing. It's been a very strong Dow with 3-4% corrections followed by 10% pops. So the Dow has taken a breather, and it's yet to be determined whether this is going to set up for a bigger move to the upside, move to the downside. Unclear at this point. I think the next few days might give us a big hint of the Dow. Okay, what about the biotech index, which is something I follow? It would be nice to do a comparison and see how that's done in comparison to the Dow. So let's look at the IBB, which is one of the bios, and say, okay. So the IBB is basically parallel to the Dow, but it is above the Dow, relatively speaking, today. So it's quite a bit higher than the Dow is today. So it's outperforming the Dow. At times it's underperformed the Dow, but now it's beginning to outperform the Dow. So maybe the environment for drugs is loosening. Maybe the regulatory environment is loosening up a bit. I do think it's also a safer haven to be in big pharma than to be in, say, tech. Biotech is another story that's highly speculative, and I like to be in the biotech space myself. I won't mention any of my names, but look at Tesla. I'll take a quick look at the chart of Tesla. Oh man, over the last year it had its big dip, didn't it? This must be when the woman got hit or something. Remember when the accident, the self-driving car hit a woman when it should have broken? It should have been able to brake in time. 4/2/2018, its low was 244 on a pullback. It had pulled back all the way from a high of 359.9, 359, 360, let's say, all the way back to 244. Man, in hindsight, if only we had bought at 244. And look now, it's taken out that old high. It took out that old high just a few days ago, 6/18. It made a new high at 373. And today it's trading down a little bit at 352. So still tremendous bounce back. seems like Tesla is a stock, one of those stocks that you buy the dips and sell the rips. An old expression on. Now that we checked out a little bit of stocks, let's just check out a little bit of baseball because we're at the midway point. Let's look at the standings in baseball. Go to, I guess, MajorLeagueBaseball.com. MLB.com. The Mets keep losing, the Yanks keep winning. So what else is new? All right, Major League Baseball. Let's look at standings midway through. Well, we're not quite midway through, but my computer is a little slow. Oh, guess what? The Yankees are in first place in the East, but not by much. They both. Boston also has 49 wins, but the Yankees have four games fewer loss for a 690% total, which is incredible. They're winning more than 2 out of 3 games. They're winning every series basically between every team they play. In the last 10 games, 7-3, 3 in a row. Home, 28-11. Look at that. Their road stats aren't much worse. 21-11. And Seattle, they walloped yesterday 7-5. I think they got a really good start out of Herman. Next game is 6:21 versus Seattle at 1:05. That would be today. And Boston, again, is staying with them. So it looks like a 2-team race in the American League East. I have my money on the Yankees. I don't know about you guys. I guess if you're from Boston, you can hope. But, the Yankees, the best team money can buy. And I know Boston spends a lot too, so tit for tat. In the Central, Cleveland is emerging as the best of a weak group. Whatever happened to the Kansas City champions from a few years back? My goodness. How the mighty have fallen. They've traded off the whole team. And Cleveland emerges on top with a 548 winning percent, playing good ball. They how'd they do yesterday? They beat the Chicago White Sox. They walloped them 12-0. My goodness. Let's go down to the West, where Houston is pulling away from Seattle thanks to the New York Yankees. A little help from the Yankees, knocking off Seattle. All right, so they've opened up 3 games now in Seattle, which was nip and tuck a couple of days ago. Now it's loosening up. They're 9-1, Houston, on this last 10 games. They're playing the best ball probably in baseball. 9-1, my goodness, they're really hot. Let's look at the National League. Atlanta. Who'd have thought Atlanta would be on top? I would have thought Washington by mid-season would be on top, with the Mets second. But Washington's third and the Mets are fourth. Improbable. But that's the way it is. The team that figured to be last is last, Miami Dolphins. And Derek Jeter, I guess we'll have to wait a few more years before he has a championship. Atlanta, will they keep it going? I don't know. Freddie Freeman is awesome. But Philadelphia has a lot of young players, and Washington has some pitching. And the Mets, they're very meh. Meh is about the best we could say at this point. In the Central, Chicago has got a slight lead on Milwaukee, and they opened up a bunch of games on St. Louis. So it looks like it's emerging as a two-club race in the Central, whereas in the East, it's tighter. It's a three-team race. In the West, it's almost anybody's guess. Will it be Arizona, Dodgers, San Fran, or Colorado? I mean, they're all playing subpar baseball, except for Arizona, who has a 548 record. But it's close. 4.5 games separate the first four. Even San Diego is in with a slight chance. So the West is up for grabs. I guess what would be the biggest surprise in your mind in the standings so far? Arizona, maybe? Or Atlanta, perhaps? Or Philadelphia? Maybe Seattle? Cleveland, maybe? Certainly not the Yankees or Boston. So I don't think there's any tremendous surprises. I'm going to go back and say hello and goodbye to all you guys out there in baseball land and who have similar interests to Dr. J. Dr. J is officially retired at this point. So Dr. J is going to look forward to establishing a nice relationship with you every single morning, or most every morning at 11. So I'm stopping screen share just so I could say goodbye. Let's see if it comes back, the picture. There it is. All right, guys. Until we meet again, hasta luego.